And welcome to episode 588, I think. Yeah,
Sure.
88 or 89. I'll double check that later. On the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. I'm Sean.
I'm Ian, and this is the only podcast that says
Where the fuck am I?
you're in the country, son.
I am. We are recording in Ian's new house. So it may sound a bit different than it ever has before because this is a large open space.
It is.
Yes. So how are you, sir?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm a little tired.
Yeah, you look beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moved a lot of things today.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but heavy things.
Yeah. Yeah, I got called in for the heavy work, and whew, I am out of shape. It was not good.
Nah.
No, I mean, I'm not saying like, but it was like one of those things where it was like, and I know this. Once I start sweating a rocco like that,
Yeah.
there's no stopping it. Yeah, you gotta like cool down for like a half hour.
Yeah.
Like I have actually, like if I've like moved stuff around and I go take a shower.
Uh-huh.
Like I've come out of the shower and been like sweating
Really?
still. Like yeah, you're like, what the hell? Like my body's just like.
What is this foreign thing?
Well, I mean, like I've always been a heavy sweater. Like even when I played football, like you wouldn't do a stretch. Like you start your practice by doing like calisthenics and stretching
Yeah.
to get yourself ready for practice. I would be breaking a sweat during
Really?
and that was set the tone for the entire practice for me. Like,
Right.
like you're laying on that grass,
Right.
and I'm just like, covered. I've already got a lather worked up. So
Yeah.
I've always been somebody who like sweats easy and sweats heavy.
Right.
But the problem is like it takes forever for it to like stop.
Right.
You're just like, come on, man. I want to take a shower. I want to feel better.
Right.
Like you let me go. I sat in the car. I was just like, okay, let's just calm down.
Yeah, just let you do your thing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it wasn't that bad. Like I think the hardest thing was moving this couch into your main living room.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough.
I mean, we figured it out.
Yeah.
And like, the stuff that went down to the basement, it was nice and easy.
Yeah.
I'm glad I had you back in like we did.
Yeah.
Like so instead of like because you were like kind of on the side, and I was like, man, I ain't moving that furniture. Let's get it right here.
Yeah.
Let's line it up with the door.
Right. No, it's done.
Indeed, yes. And impressively, you're not living in boxes still.
No. No, we're not.
No, like I think I was still living in boxes about a year.
Oh, really? Man, there's no more boxes.
Yeah.
It's all done. Anyway.
Well, like I mean, that was like, if you remember, like our dining room,
Yeah.
that was just stacked with boxes forever.
Yeah.
And that was something you had to go down in the basement. We just were too lazy to do it. And then
Yeah.
one day it was like, they said, well, I'm buying a dining room table, so we got to do it. Like,
Yeah.
okay, well, you also need to go through some of this shit and get rid of it.
Right.
And that didn't happen. It just all went in the basement.
Right.
But moving is the worst.
Yeah. So.
I mean, it is. Like, it's that thing of like, you wait for the day where it's like, well, I can just teleport shit.
Right.
Just box this up and teleport it to my new location.
Yeah.
Because moving just blows.
It does.
It does. Like, and then like you have like that whole thing of like, am I keeping this? Is it something I want to take to my new home?
Right.
Am I just throwing this out?
Right.
Like,
That debacle.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, you collect things over time.
Yeah, you do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I'm ready. I'm going to have, I think next spring, I'm going to have a like porch sale.
Uh-huh.
And I'm getting rid of It's like I got stuff down in the basement that'll never be displayed.
Really?
It's just down there,
Yeah.
you know, like figures and like I have like collector's cups.
Yeah.
I have a shit ton of collector's cups. Like I've got going all the way back to like the Phantom Menace.
Uh-huh.
Like I've got a bunch of like collector's cups. When you go to the movie theater, you'd get like a giant
Yeah.
icy, and it came in like this gigantic collector's cup.
Uh-huh.
And excuse me, I mean they're just sitting in that basement. You know,
Right.
they're in a tote. They're secure, but
Yeah.
it's like, man, I should just sell these.
Right. Right.
And I'm like I only want to do it for like eBay pricing. Like it'll be like, okay, if it's a figure on a card, it's $1. If it's a figure in a box, it's $2. And the cups, the larger ones are $2, the smaller ones are $1. Like
Yeah.
making it simple.
Yeah.
Like, I am not fucking around. Come get a big deal.
Right. Right.
Because I know like some of those mugs or those plastic cups, collector's cups are like, you look on eBay, like 25, $30.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but I just don't want to go through the hassle of like selling it on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or something.
No.
No.
Might make some more money.
I probably would. But it's not a matter of making money for me.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the extra money would be nice. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sneeze at it, but like that's just it feels like too much work.
Right.
Like the amount of work I would have to put in to sell something
Right.
isn't worth the amount of money I'd be getting back, in my opinion.
Right.
Like $30 plus whatever shipping and handling would be, and yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
But that's my plan. Like because I've just got too much shit, and it just nowhere to put it.
Yeah.
So that's me.
Vanderbilt's beating Alabama.
Vanderbilt is beating Alabama. Did you say that right?
Yeah. It's
like, is that like early in the first quarter?
Yeah. Fourth quarter, 12:05 left. Vanderbilt's 30, Alabama 28.
Good God.
The world has changed.
Like that is unheard of. Like Vandy, like if Vandy pulls off that upset.
I know that play. I don't know where they're playing.
They're playing. Looks like. I think it's at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like if Vandy pulls off that upset, that'll. I mean that would just upset the entire college football world. Because Alabama just pulled off. They beat Georgia last week in that thriller.
Uh-huh.
And to come back and like leave a stinker to Vandy.
Maybe their players are just worn out from so much winning.
I mean,
they're undefeated, right?
Yeah, Alabama, yeah. I mean, they went undefeated until last year until they played Michigan in the national title game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was their only loss was to Michigan last year. Just crazy to think about.
Right.
Pitt's 5-0. 5-0 for the first time since 1991.
Really?
Yeah.
5-0.
5-0.
That's crazy.
It is. I mean, it's not going to last. It's not. But like, it's still a massive improvement. Like, they have a quarterback.
Right. Who is the quarterback? I don't even know.
Eli Holston.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he was. He transferred from Alabama.
Really?
He's a redshirt freshman who transferred from Alabama, and like they beat Ball State handily. They went to Cincinnati. Now Cincinnati's not a good team, but they came back in the fourth quarter to beat Cincinnati.
Okay.
They played West Virginia at home, backyard brawl. Came back in the fourth
I
quarter
saw that. Highlights of that.
to beat West Virginia.
Crazy town.
Then they go and they blow out Youngstown State like 72-10.
Mm.
And now they go down to North Carolina and they won 34-24.
Not bad.
So yeah, I mean, and the ACC is a good enough conference. Like, I can't see them like getting there.
Yeah.
You know, like there's enough good teams.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. Like that for them to like make a run and get to the ACC championship game would be difficult.
Yeah.
But at the same time, maybe.
Yeah, right.
You know, like,
they have some good players.
They do, yeah. Like they've got some decent receivers. They've got some good very good running backs. Holston has been like a godsend.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, he's Kenny Pickett in Kenny Pickett's 5th year.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I watched Kenny Pickett for 4 years be an average quarterback, and then suddenly in his 5th year took off.
Yeah.
Eli Holston is that good now as a redshirt freshman.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and you think about it, like, even Nick Saban, who recruited him, was like, Pitt's got a good one. You know, like, I recruited the kid.
Yeah.
I brought him to Alabama. I understand, you know, he left, but, you know, Pitt's got a guy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, he would have started for me just as a redshirt freshman.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
And so, for Nick Saban to say that.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I think they play Cal. And that's the weird thing now. Is like, they play, you know, the University of California next week in an ACC game.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the new ACC. It's, you know, Cal, Stanford. It's Cal, Stanford. I know SMU.
Yeah.
Was another one. Like it was like 3 or 4 like oddball. Like, you're like, what are they doing here? So they play Cal next week in an ACC game, which I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't feel right at all.
Vandy's up 33-28 now.
Damn. Go Vandy.
I know, I'm interested.
Yeah. And that's ridiculous. That shit doesn't happen.
What did you think of the Pittsburgh game last week?
All right. As far as the Steelers go, Justin Fields is starting to change my mind.
Okay.
Like, the first 2 games, I wasn't overly impressed.
Yeah.
Because he was Kenny Pickett-esque.
Yeah.
Now, to his defense, though, that would have been an improvement over anything he'd ever done before.
Right.
Like, he was a turnover machine.
Yeah.
Like, that was my, like, you talk about, like, oh, he can make big plays with his arm, he can make big plays with his legs, and I'm like, and he gives up the ball a lot.
Yeah.
So, like, the thing, like, you could say, like, yeah, Kenny Pickett was not that good of a quarterback, but he didn't turn over the ball.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he was too careful with the ball, and that's why he wasn't as effective.
Yeah.
But yet he didn't turn over the ball. And so, when your defense is that good,
right,
and you're not putting them in bad positions, now you can win those tight games that they won.
Yeah.
Justin Fields in the first 2.5 games played very controlled football. He let it go a little bit against the Chargers, and then they really let the leash off because they had to against Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And against Indy, he played extraordinarily well. Like, I understand, like, you had the snap situation. Like, the first quarter, he has the under center, gets stepped on. He's not used to being under center.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he was hardly ever under center in Chicago. And he was never under center in college.
Okay.
So he's not accustomed to being under center.
Right.
And so that's something that's a work in progress for
Mm.
him. The bad snap, that's the guard, the center, and him.
Yeah.
All three. So I'm not like, he fucked that up. He cost us the game. No, it was a combination of efforts there.
Right. Right.
But I think if you look at like what he did overall
Mm.
to bring them back in that game, to play as well as he did, to make the throws that he did, to make the runs that he did, it was the most impressive game I've seen him ever play.
No, that's cool.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like, I'm hoping he's learning and plays that way going forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not expecting him not to turn over the ball, but you can't turn over the ball a ton.
Right.
Like, you have to say to yourself, like, 8 interceptions, 10 interceptions in a season is what you're aiming for.
Right.
Like, you're not looking to turn over the football. And so, I mean, we shall see. Like, I think they went into Indy and just forgot the game started at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like, that first quarter was ridiculous. Like they settled down after that first quarter,
Yeah.
but that first quarter was just brutal.
Yeah.
And
That Herbig injury is going to be a little big.
well, I mean, his injury, and then you throw in like, I mean, and he was in there for Highsmith.
Yeah.
Um, it those things start to mount up, and then when you don't like, and T.J. Watt just getting held.
Yeah, I mean,
like outlandishly held on a regular basis, and then, like there's no flag.
Yeah.
You're like, come on. So, I mean, you reach a point though where you got to say like the secondary's got to pick it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like they've benefited from the pass rush, but now it's not going to be as prevalent, so you have to pick it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought in that, and I'm not taking swipes at him, but I thought Joey Porter Jr. played an okay game.
Yeah.
Not to his normal standard.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There were some plays where I was like, Like, a lot of people are like, well, he's got to catch that interception in the end zone. Like, he does not have hands.
Yeah.
He is the second coming of Ike Taylor.
Yeah, yeah.
He's going to get like 1 or 2 interceptions a year.
Yeah.
That is it. If you're expecting him to be a ball hawk, that is not your guy.
All right.
He's going to knock shit down.
Yeah.
He does not. He just does not catch the football.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he's playing corner and not wide receiver.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is that thing of like you get that interception down there. That's phenomenal. Pickens, don't fumble the ball.
Yeah.
Like that fumble was extraordinarily costly because that could have helped get back in the game.
Right.
It's shit like that. Like, now you got a big game against Dallas. And while the Cowboys aren't impressive, it's prime time and it's the Cowboys. And it's that thing of like, this is a game where you find out if you're a pretender or not.
Yeah.
Because it is prime time and it is Dallas.
Right.
No matter what their record is, it's Dallas.
Yeah.
And you sit there and you say to yourself, man, this is a game I got to show out. Well, if you're like a guy like Justin Fields, you may put a little too much pressure on yourself, and now you return back to bad habits.
Right.
Play within yourself, play within the system, do the things that have got you to this point.
Yeah.
Because if you come out and you're trying to make a big splash and you make a throw into a window that you probably shouldn't have,
yeah, you're done.
Yeah. All of a sudden, Russell Wilson's calf feels a whole lot better.
Yeah.
All
right. Outside of football, what else is going on? You watch anything?
Well, I did want to discuss the horrible loss I had in fantasy to Tim.
Oh, I haven't won a game this year. I'm big guy.
I was up 30 points. I was at 95% win percentage.
Really?
I lost by 4 points.
Really?
Yeah. He had Kenneth Walker from Seattle go off for like 30 some odd points. He had another guy get 17. And like I just couldn't it was that thing of like there's no reason I should have lost that game.
Right.
Like what cost me the game was Rashee Rice went out with 0 points in the first quarter for Kansas City.
Right.
Like if he would have just gotten me like 5 points, you know, like if he could have just like stayed healthy, like I mean, it's like that thing like, oh, that sucks, but like he went out in the first quarter with a 0.
Right.
So it's like now I'm playing one man short, you know.
Right.
And I still had enough points where it was like I had a 95% win percentage going into Monday night.
Uh-huh.
And that 95% win percentage got flipped quick.
Yeah.
I was like, come on. So I'm sitting at 2-2. I got my injured reserve is filled.
Yeah.
Because I got Rashee Rice out. I've got now Jonathan Taylor's out. And I got somebody else, A.J. Brown, out.
Yeah.
I'm working the waiver wire.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Like, and it's not because my guys don't perform. It's because my guys are all injured.
Right. Everybody's injured all
It is. Like, it's like ridiculous.
Why are they injured all the time? Everyone's always injured.
I feel like because I think it's one of two things. Like, I think first off, if this was the 70s or 80s, like you would have just taped this up, taken a shot, and went on the field.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think nowadays they're a whole lot more careful. But I also think I think their bodies are so finely tuned that like rolling your ankle puts you out for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, where that same hit 30 years ago would have had zero effect. Like, you know, but these guys are just such finely tuned athletes now. It's like it's the difference of, you know, driving a Kia Soul and a LaFerrari.
Yeah.
Like that 12-cylinder LaFerrari is so finely tuned that one thing goes wrong with it, the entire engine blows. Whereas in my Kia Soul, it can survive that.
Right.
You know, because it's not that kind of a finely tuned machine.
Right.
So, like I think that's the difference. Like you're going from like, you know, guys who were built like, you know, Chevy Cavaliers to guys who are built like hypercars.
Right, right.
You know, and if one little thing goes wrong in that hypercar, you know, the whole thing is done.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. So I think I really do think that's the difference. I just think it's like they're just so stringent with everything.
Right.
You know, diet and exercise and the weight, you know, like everything about these athletes nowadays is just so it's a fine tuning.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden when you collide with somebody at 30 miles an hour, your body's like, fuck you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Anyway,
I saw there are two places you can watch old and newish Godzilla movies.
Okay.
I know it's funny, but like this is like my thing. And Max has, through the Criterion collection, a number of like old school Godzilla movies.
Okay.
And then on Amazon, they have a number of like the Godzilla movies from the 90s and the 2000s.
Okay.
Now, I've watched those 60s and 70s Godzilla movies 100 times.
Right.
And they're fun to watch, but like I've missed out on a lot of like the 90s and 2000s ones. So I'm more interested in those. But I did watch last night. It was called The Return of Godzilla. It's from 1984, and it's a direct sequel to the original Godzilla movie.
Okay.
And it was released in the United States as Godzilla in 1984.
Mm-hmm.
But and it was like remastered a little bit so that it had what's his name? Burr.
What?
The guy's last name was Burr.
Raymond Burr.
Raymond Burr.
Okay.
Because Raymond Burr was in the original Godzilla movie. Like when they released it in the United States, like Godzilla was called Gorgia. But when they released it in the United States, they felt like they needed an American connection. So they cast Raymond Burr and they filmed some scenes with him and a few other Americans observing what was happening in Tokyo.
Right.
Because it was like, this is the cost of American, nuclear testing in the Pacific.
Right. Right.
And so when they made Godzilla, The Return of Godzilla, they released it in the United States as Godzilla in 1984, and they added scenes with Raymond Burr again.
Okay.
Like as a callback.
Right.
So The Return of Godzilla does not have the Raymond Burr scenes. And it was fun to watch because it's like a direct descendant to the original Godzilla, so direct sequel. And Thad will hate to see this, but Godzilla's the villain.
Yeah.
And again, it dealt with the Cold War because at one point Godzilla destroys a Russian submarine, in the Pacific.
Uh-huh.
Well, the Russians want blood. The Americans want their piece of the action.
Right.
So the Russians and the Americans like, we've got to nuke Godzilla. And the Japanese like, not in Tokyo you are.
Yeah.
And the Russians are pissed because like, well, if he takes out Tokyo and he goes up north, Vladivostok, our Pacific naval home is right up the road.
Right.
We have to protect our assets.
Right.
And I go, well, in Tokyo you're not.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Like, I mean, you look at that suit and you compare it to like more modern suits, and it's not that good. But there's like some fun stuff like Godzilla. Like you hear him like he does something, and he's like you'll hear him like breathing, and it'll like give like a little growl.
Yeah.
Not like, but he also gives like the famous roar. Just like it was a fun suit. I liked it. The story itself is just okay. Like it's not phenomenal.
Right.
But like watching Godzilla come to Tokyo and wreak havoc and like the stuff that they were trying to do back then as far as like green screen work with like what people like reacting to Godzilla, like the characters, like there's Godzilla like right there, but I'm down here and I'm looking up, and so obviously it's a green screen deal. And then they had like a Godzilla foot, which was apparently like on some sort of crane or something. So like you actually had actors reacting like this giant Godzilla foot like coming down from the air, and it's like that was kind of cool. It was stuff like that. Like, I mean, you get into the later Godzilla movies, like the suits and the models and everything else is like phenomenal. Like this is still very, very good.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I like what they did. Like they did a lot of stuff like where it looks like they actually had the suit outside.
Okay.
And like so instead of like it being like in like a studio.
Yeah.
Like they put the model outside and had Godzilla outside, so like the lighting looks more natural on him and stuff.
Okay.
I dig that stuff. Like I do. Like, I mean, obviously, like I can sit here and tell you this, my love of Godzilla -1 as much as I want, but like this is fun too, and and it leads to other stuff like the Godzilla versus Biollante is next, which is a fun movie. I watched that. Like I watched it like it was in Japanese with Korean subtitles. Like I have no idea what the story was, but like
Fuck.
who cares? I'm here for the giant monster fight anyway.
Yeah.
Um, but stuff like that, like I do enjoy, and like I'll be watching more of that. Now that I found like, oh, here's this treasure trove,
Godzilla films.
of Godzilla movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but other than that, uh, just the series I've been watching. Like I watched the latest episode of Agatha All Along.
Uh-huh.
That's just not good.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, like I'm just not like like the worst part is like so it's like I like Catherine Hahn. I'm watching it for her.
Uh-huh.
Aubrey Plaza shows back up this episode.
Uh-huh.
I love Aubrey Plaza. So like there's two actresses I really really like, but the story's just not holding me.
Yeah.
Like I'm finding myself like looking at my phone while I'm watching.
Ah,
It's not holding my attention.
right.
Um, watched that. The latest episode of Tulsa King.
Is that good so far?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Very good.
Okay.
Um,
So I watched the first season.
yeah. Yeah, the second season's been very good.
Good.
And then I watched the second episode of The Penguin. And that's been good. Like my only problem is it's like it's a mob movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just like there are no good guys.
Everyone's bad.
Yeah. Like Penguin's not a hero in this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the Falcone family's not, and the Marone family's not. Like there's nobody here that's like good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all it honestly is it's a mob movie in a Batman universe.
Yeah.
And like the problem I'm having is, well, it's very very good and I can appreciate it. It's like if this wasn't in the Batman universe, would you have watched this? And the answer is like probably not.
Yeah.
So I don't know how. Like I'm probably going to finish it out because I want to know the story, where it goes. But at the same time, there's a part of me that's like, if I catch this, I catch this.
Have you heard anything on the new Beetlejuice?
I've heard it's very good.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I heard a lot of people say it was very, very good.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I didn't read any reviews or
anything.
I didn't know if it was or if it wasn't.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it. The one that people are shitting all over is the new Joker movie.
Really?
Yeah. They're saying it's fucking awful.
Really?
Yeah. Like I have not heard a single person like you can trust reviews. There are people who like I feel like they give an honest reaction to a movie.
Right.
And when I see them react to a movie, I tend to believe them more than like a reviewer.
Right.
And they're just like, yeah, this is not good. Wow. Yeah. Like there's nothing redeemable about this movie. Like, which is like as much as beloved as that first one is.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, I did not watch it. Like, I refuse to watch because I don't feel like it's the Joker.
Yeah. But
for those who did, they absolutely love that first Joker movie. And I mean, it won an Academy Award.
Yeah.
I tip my hat to it,
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not for me. But the second one, again, I had no interest in watching, but I see these people are just like, this is fucking awful. I'm like, wow. That is shocking.
It is. I mean, like, considering the first one was so good, and then...
Yeah.
Wow. You'd think it'd be halfway decent. I wasn't expecting crazy good, but...
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
No, I do know what you mean. I think part of it is like, I don't know if it like being done as partly as a musical is hurting it, or if it's just that thing of like, is catching up to it that is not the Joker.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you told a very interesting story in the first one about a man breaking, but how well does that play off in the second one?
Right.
You know? So, I mean, I feel bad for it in a way. Like, I feel bad for the people who were looking forward to it and they're getting a turd.
Yeah.
But, you know, you never want that for anybody. I don't want that for anybody. I want you to enjoy it.
Right.
But if you got a stinker, you got a stinker.
Right.
You know?
That's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Anyway, wasted money. He got paid, I'm sure.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure.
I mean, is it going to ruin him? No.
No, not Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Because they won't blame it on him. They'll blame it, story.
Yeah.
The director may suffer.
Yeah.
You know, it won't hurt him or Lady Gaga. Because I'm like, oh, they were fantastic. But I've said that too. Like I've watched movies where I'm like, man, you can't blame it on the actor. They did well. They just got like I don't know if it was cut different or.
I don't know. Nicolas Cage plays in some really bad movies.
Oh yeah.
Some really bad acting.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
I will tell you now. There have been
One out of
Nicolas.
10 movies is good.
Yeah, like I mean, Nicolas Cage makes like damn near anything.
Yeah.
He has no problem saying yes
Yeah.
because he's so far in fucking debt.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, like he will mail it in on like he's like, this is a shit script. The only reason I'm doing it is because I need the money. But he'll save that and then he'll give you a fantastic performance in like that 10th movie.
Yeah.
You know, like this is the one I'm really getting paid for. You know.
Right. It's crazy.
Like that unbearable weight of massive talent or whatever it was called. He was phenomenal in that.
Yeah.
You know, that's the Nicolas Cage I know and love.
Yeah.
Then there's, the directed video that, you're just like,
What are you doing?
like he's just over the top, just hamming it up.
Yeah.
You know. But he knows he's got a shit script, but he's getting a payday.
Yeah.
You know.
Anything else coming out that you're interested in?
Um,
I haven't seen any trailers.
it seems like everything I see a trailer for now is like coming to Netflix, coming to Max, coming to Apple TV. Like, it's like that's what it feels like. It doesn't feel like it's a ton. There was a trailer for Ballerina.
Okay.
Which is Anna de Arms in the John Wick universe.
Really?
Yeah. That looked really good.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Like I like the concept of like expanding that universe. Like I watched The Continental. That wasn't very good. Like that was poorly done. I was kind of bummed out by that because I was looking forward to it. But like doing another movie in that Wick universe, but expanding like it's not just John Wick. Like here's Anna de Arms' character,
right,
who's also out for revenge,
right,
right. And in that universe with the gold coins and everything else, I'm like, oh, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, give me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked really interesting. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, which is sad.
Yeah, I haven't heard about anything.
Yeah.
Marvel, none of it.
Like, I think, yeah. All right, so I looked up here real quick. Venom: The Last Dance is October 25th.
Okay.
I know you want to see that.
I do.
Wicked, which I know a lot of people are looking forward to.
Right.
That comes out in November. Gladiator 2.
Okay.
That comes out in November as well. So, not a ton of shit.
Okay, score update.
Okay.
Vanderbilt 40, Alabama 35.
Good God.
Minute 10 left in the fourth. First and 10 at the Alabama 41.
Who has the ball?
Vanderbilt.
Holy fuck. This is just gonna cause chaos in the SEC. Like, I'm serious. Like, this is chaos.
Yeah.
This is unheard of.
Yeah, I think they're going to run it out.
Vandy. Like the redheaded stepchild of the SEC.
Yeah.
Like, only there to keep up the grade point average.
Right.
That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy.
It is.
It's nuts.
Right. Unheard of.
Right.
Unprecedented.
Right.
Quote the great Keith Jackson. Whoa, Nelly.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Venom. That'll be good for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. It looks a little suspect in my opinion, but
Yeah.
Um, I think what's interesting is like they're kind of like saying it. This is the last Venom movie. Like,
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that because like for Sony, with these Spider-Verse movies, it's the biggest, it's the most popular. Like it gets the best results for them.
Right.
So I don't know if they're bowing it out because Marvel's like, hey, we want to put Venom in the Marvelverse.
Right. Right.
We've got an idea for the next Tom Hardy movie.
Right.
We need Venom for it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess it's just not Tom Hardy. Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. Oh, you mean
It's Spider-Man. Yeah. Tom Hardy's Venom. Yeah. I'm sure that would have been corrected. Somebody would have been somebody who's
Yeah, I mean, like
a bird-like entity on the Twitterverse would be like, sending that correction.
yeah. But I mean, like people want it.
Yeah. Like I do feel like the first two Venom movies were good enough that I understand why people want more. Like they weren't bad.
Right. I like.
They were good.
All right.
Like I can say like Morbius. Well, it wasn't bad, wasn't good. Madam Web wasn't as bad as people said, but it was nowhere near good.
Right.
Even my dad liked it.
Yeah.
Like, really, Big Chuck? Come on now. You're better than that.
All right.
But
Vanderbilt beat him. Final.
Wow.
40-35.
This is I can't even tell you how wow.
Anyway. But yeah, I want to see a Venom Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. No, I agree.
There needs to be one.
And I wonder, like, ESPN's letting you know that's a final.
Yeah,
it is that thing though of like, I with Secret Wars coming up.
Yeah.
Like, and the Russos at the helm. Like, is that something that they want to do?
Yeah.
You
mean introduce Venom into it? Or the black suit?
The black suit. More than likely.
Yeah.
Is what I would think. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Like, I'd be interested to see, like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, if you're Sony, that's kind of like your bell cow.
Right.
That's the one you want to kind of. That would be the film that you would kind of want to like lead to the others.
Right.
Venom is in a way your Iron Man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And You kind of like say like, yeah, okay, we've done 3. Moving on.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. Meanwhile, you've got you know Craven sitting out there ready to be a dud.
You think?
Yeah.
Oh, Craven Solo? Yeah.
Yeah. Like I mean, I just don't see how like
These are all Spider-Man films.
right, exactly. Like, and you're turning them all into like anti-heroes in a way,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work.
Yeah, Morbius was not an anti-hero. Not that he was part of it. I mean, he is sort of.
Yeah, like I mean,
Craven.
yeah. Like I mean, I don't know. Like but it is that odd thing of like I don't understand how Sony thinks this works.
Yeah.
How they're gonna make it work.
Right, right.
But they're trying. Give them all the credit in the world. They're trying.
Man.
you know.
This doesn't work without your linchpin, which is Spider-Man.
Yeah. And the closest thing you have to a linchpin is Venom, and you're retiring him.
Yeah. I know.
Or are they? Or I mean, are they? Are they pulling a professional wrestling? If I lose this match, I'll retire.
Right.
Which, like, maybe the guy loses the match, but like 6 months later, he's back.
Yeah.
I'm coming out of retirement because you son of a bitch, you're forcing me to.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how that shit always worked.
Unless Marvel gets some rights to Venom.
Yeah.
I'm sure Marvel would love to have Venom in the universe.
Oh, I'm sure they would too, because I'm sure they want to do a Spider-Man Venom movie.
Oh yeah.
Like I mean, I don't know. It's that is such just an odd. Like I get why Sony keeps the rights. I get why Sony fights to keep those rights. But
right.
at the same time, you're fucking it up so bad.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Like what I mean? Like you are.
Yeah.
Stop. I'm begging you.
Please don't do another movie with a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah. Like in the top it off, then they took back Vulture.
Yeah.
Had him suddenly appear at the end of Morbius.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Why?
Just leave it alone.
Yeah, please. Please stop.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know either. It's frustrating as all fuck, though.
Yeah, what I thought Sony was doing is I thought Sony was going this Venom route, right?
Yeah.
And that was going to be their new Spider-Man.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Venom was going to be the Spider-Man.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But Venom was already introduced into the Marvel-verse.
No, he wasn't.
In a sense, he was.
The closest you get is, I think there's a cameo.
Multiverse.
At the end of No Way Home.
Yeah.
Like there's that stinger.
Yeah.
Where he suddenly appeared in that universe, but then got sent back.
I don't know if he got sent back.
He did. Everything but one little piece of goo.
Oh, yeah.
Like there was one little piece of goo that somehow didn't get teleported back.
Yeah. It went on the bartender.
Yeah. So, like, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Sounds shady.
It does.
Janky.
Yeah. I think Marvel's fucking it up too. So.
Well, I think that's why they're course correcting. I think that's why they brought in the Russos. I think that's why they brought back Robert Downey Jr. I think that's why they're doing the Doctor Doom thing. They are right now. They're like the captain of the Titanic trying to miss the iceberg.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think early next year, I want to say maybe March, you get the Captain America movie.
Yeah.
And that looks really good.
Do you think that Sony, and not Sony, but do you think that Disney overextended itself when they made Loki and WandaVision and not Green Arrow, but
Hawkeye,
Hawkeye. Don't take me wrong; those were good.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, they were good series.
Yeah.
But do you think they just flooded the market with it, and people were like, I don't care?
No, I think
Because when Iron Man came out, I mean, you talk about a linchpin.
yeah.
I mean, people went absolutely apeshit over Iron Man.
I do think a TV series is useful and you can tell a longer form story.
Right.
Now, in all honesty, should Falcon and Winter Soldier have been a movie, like a 2.5 hour movie instead of an 8 episode miniseries? Probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it could have been told in a more condensed fashion, I think, and done better.
Yeah.
But I like that series a lot because it was dealing with Cap's legacy. It was dealing with the super soldier serum. It dealt with a lot of interesting things, which allowed that series to be good. But it could have been condensed and told in a 2.5 hour format.
Yeah.
I think it's twofold. I think they tried so hard to dig into like the C and D list.
Yeah.
To pull characters up and make them movie franchises. And that didn't work.
Right.
And then like the characters you do want to see, you've kind of been holding out.
Right.
Like the Thunderbolts. I saw the trailer for the Thunderbolts. That looks really good. But but that's dealing with like Bucky and
I know Natasha's
sister and
the guy.
Yeah, I mean, like they're that suddenly becomes like an interesting show or movie.
Yeah.
But you needed the Captain Marvel movie to get that going. You needed Hawkeye in a way to kind of get that going. You needed
Black Widow.
Yeah, Black Widow. You needed Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, all these kind of other things kind of had to take place to get you to that movie.
Right.
So, like, I feel like TV series, like I'm watching Agatha all along.
Uh-huh.
And, like, the thing I keep asking myself is this show really necessary?
Right.
Because it's not telling a very good story. And I don't know where it belongs in the greater Marvel universe.
Right.
Like, is some of this going to end up leading into like a Doctor Strange movie?
Yeah.
Because none of these characters are actually interesting enough that you would put into a movie.
Right.
Like, as much as I love Catherine Hahn, as much as I thought Agatha was great in WandaVision, like, she's not a movie-worthy character.
Right.
You know what I mean? Aubrey Plaza is a Green Witch. No, not that interesting of a character. It's a show that I feel like is just there because everybody liked Catherine Hahn as Agatha.
Right.
And so let's reward her for her good work by giving her a series.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like it's
garbage.
Right, but it's also not really all that necessary. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I can at least say Falcon and Winter Soldier was kind of necessary. Mm-hmm. It told a story that helped push along other factors.
You think WandaVision was necessary? Aside from leading into the Doctor Strange movie.
I think no. No, but it also kind of was because you needed the conclusion to her story.
Yeah.
Like, everybody else is brought back from the blip, but Vision,
right,
the person you loved,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and only because he really was dead before the blip took place.
Right.
So there's no bringing Vision back.
Right.
But yet here you are creating an entire,
Yeah.
universe, a pocket universe within, to bring back the love of your life. Like, I mean, it was like necessary, but not necessary.
Right, right.
Because it does give you the villain of the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, finally.
For the Strange movie.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah.
We see it.
Yeah. So, like at the end of the day, like oddly, Loki's not necessary.
Yeah.
It really isn't and it's made unnecessary because of the actions of the guy who played Kang.
Right.
Like if you're still doing Kang, then that shows it was made unnecessary
because of what happened with
Kang. Because of that one guy.
It's a shame too, because I thought he would be a great villain.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like that was your next Thanos.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking for that kind of villain, I thought that was like a good villain to have.
Right. I agree.
I was sold.
Yeah.
Because of his personality.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And he was perfect.
Yeah.
Especially perfect in Ant-Man.
Right. Which is also deemed irrelevant.
Correct.
Because of.
But it was a good movie with him in it. His interaction with her was great.
Oh yeah, I agree.
It was great.
I agree.
So, yeah, I mean, it was just his personality on who he was as an actor, which was really good.
Yeah.
Like in the many faces of Kang that you saw,
Right.
It was really good.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. It really is.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, there's been very few villains in that universe where you're like, oh, I just absolutely hate this guy.
Yeah.
Like Whiplash. I kind of liked Whiplash, but I mean, like,
yeah,
it wasn't. He was memorable, but not memorable.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, he played a good part on it, and it was a good villain to that story.
Right.
But he wasn't a great villain. He was just a grunt with some, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With a power core.
Right.
Which I got. The third Guardians villain was amazing.
Yeah, the creator.
Yeah,
But even the first one with Lee Pace.
Oh.
So good.
Or as little as you saw him.
Yeah.
He was great.
He was.
But it was great. He was memorable, right?
Yeah.
Because you kind of liked the guy in the same point. He was such a dick. I didn't like the guy in the third Guardians.
No, he was downright evil, and you want him to die an awful death.
Yeah, and that was a good villain. That's kind of what you wanted. Thanos was a good villain, of course.
Yeah. Keaton and Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Mysterio. Nah.
Yeah.
Not a great villain.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was phenomenal that they went with Mysterio. I thought it was phenomenal they gave him the fishbowl.
Sure, yeah, I thought it was great.
But
I thought that part of it was good.
Yeah.
But it was not. It was good and it wasn't good.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't. I mean, it was cool that they brought in a character.
Yeah.
But even the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Except for Goblin, he was good. William Dafoe was good.
Yeah.
He was a good Goblin.
Yeah.
And
that was a redeeming Goblin.
Yeah. But I still say the best villain in the Goblin movies was Doc Ock. I mean, in Spider-Man movies.
Well, like in those Spider-Man movies, in the Tobey Maguire one, that was
Doc Ock. They played that.
Spider-Man.
That movie was written like almost perfectly.
Spider-Man 2 is one of the top 5 greatest comic book movies of all time.
Yeah.
Like, it's like The Dark Knight, Avengers, Endgame, Avengers, Infinity War, Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
And maybe Blade.
Ooh.
Like that's or Blade 2. Like,
Both were good.
Yeah. Like I have to Hobie that, and Blade 1 and 2 are probably the two that it should belong in the top 5 comic book movies of all time.
Yeah, Blade 1 and Blade 2 are amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really good. Trinity wasn't that good.
No.
But Blade 1 and 2 were.
Yeah.
I mean, fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, especially Blade 2. I mean, it's directed by Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
It had that del Toro feel to it. It felt like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like it was so well done.
Yeah.
But Blade 1, in many respects, kind of kicks off the resurgence of comic book movies.
Yeah, Blade 1 was really good.
Yeah.
The way it started
Yeah.
to how it ended.
Yeah.
It was just, this movie's done right.
Yeah.
Blade 2 was fantastic.
It was. Absolutely. Because,
no lie.
Yeah. Because it had del Toro, as the director who gave it that horror movie feel, and you throw in that cat. I mean, that was extraordinarily well done. It was a fantastic story. And you get to Blade 3 and you Gucci goo.
Yeah,
bad. That's bad. That's bad.
Yeah.
But
it was bad. But yeah, I mean, so the villains, you just hate them. They want to be, you want them to be memorable.
Right.
And
Marvel had that problem for a long time if they weren't.
No, they weren't. And they could have been.
Yeah.
I mean, not created, but they made him real. Oh my God, the robot. There were no
Ultron.
strings on me.
Yeah, Ultron.
Yeah, I mean, that is a great villain.
Yeah.
And they could have made him even greater.
Yeah.
And you had Spader as the voice.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have been one of the greatest villains of all time. He could have been your Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
If you played it right, he could have been your Doctor Doom. He was that good.
Yeah.
Just listening to Spader talk behind the mask. Now, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Every time he spoke, I got chills.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. And it just never lived up. You know what I mean? Like, it just never... He was good, but it wasn't that good.
Yeah, like Thor gave us Loki, but I mean, that's...
Anti-hero.
Yeah, but still, like... That was the first Marvel villain that you were like, I want more of him.
Yeah. Loki was good.
Yeah. And then Captain America gave us Red Skull.
Briefly.
But so good.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
So well done.
Yeah.
And then, the first Avengers movie.
And we wanted more Red Skull.
We did. I did. Yeah, well, so did I. Yeah. But I mean, like, you look at those movies and like the second Thor movie, that, the Dark Elves, that doesn't land.
Yeah, it did.
And that's got Christopher Eccleston as the villain.
Yeah.
Who's a phenomenal actor who I absolutely love. That's a strikeout. And I mean, like you go down the list, there's a lot of these villains that were just like
wasted.
Yeah.
I think they're
not well done.
Right.
Not memorable.
Right. I agree. I mean, I just feel like even the first Venom movie, that villain was not great.
No.
I like the movie because of Venom. Like, I like Venom so much because I like the interaction between him and Tom Hardy. I know Tom Hardy's the voice of it.
Right. But yeah, you're the
dichotomy between the two.
Yeah.
Him getting used to him, not used to him, hating him.
Venom
going inside people.
Yeah.
Like the store lady that ran the grocery store.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
No, real.
No, I agree.
And then him jumping to people.
Yeah.
And they're just dying because they can't.
Yeah.
They can't support him. Or uses them all up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I liked about Venom.
Yeah.
I thought Carnage was a good villain.
Yeah, I think that was a better movie. I thought it was just overall, like Woody Harrelson was fantastic, and
what's her name was fantastic.
Yeah,
the girlfriend. And
yeah,
Tom Hardy was good, and like the whole. I thought, yeah, you're right. It was a better movie.
It was. It was a much better movie.
And I liked Carnage.
Yeah,
I liked the way he looked. I liked the way they did him on screen. He looked fantastic. I liked the way he talked.
And the fact that movie's only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Which is an odd thing to say, because like usually you want that that movie being only an hour and a half is probably its saving grace.
Right.
Because it gets right to the point.
Yeah, and it was Carnage was much more. It was much more gory.
Yeah.
It was much more horrific. I mean, Carnage was biting heads off people.
But it got there fast. Like it was a breakneck movie.
Yeah.
Because of that, it didn't have. There was no moment to let it breathe.
No.
You had to get from point A to point B as fast as possible.
Yeah, I didn't mind it though.
No, neither did I.
I like going on that ride.
Right. And I think if you would stretch that out to a 2-hour movie, I think it wouldn't be as good.
You're right. It just kept going.
Yeah.
Which I liked. The story kept going too.
Yeah. Like it was a movie that it deserved the pacing that it had because of how short it is.
Right.
Like it worked.
Yeah.
So
heads up. I mean, it did. The storyline worked in that movie.
Right. Because it didn't need to be long and drawn out. You didn't need to have like a confrontation.
You didn't need to have a farm scene.
No.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah, you didn't need the scene between De Niro and Pacino in Heat.
Right.
You know, exactly. That was not needed in this movie.
It was needed between Christopher Walken and Dennis Hopper and True Romance.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah,
that was needed.
Oh,
what a great scene. But I agree. It just flowed very good.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
So there's that. I mean, there's been some good villains and some just terrible villains, but the villains that you love to hate or the villains that you absolutely hate and think should die are the ones that you want in your movies, not Mysterio.
Killmonger is one of the great ones that got wasted.
Yeah.
To me, they needed to find a way to keep him around.
Right.
Like the fact that he died bothers me.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Like, I mean, but it does give you that great scene in whatchamacallit, in Wakanda Forever, where Shuri, after she's taken the flower, that's who she's greeted by.
Right.
Not her brother, not her father. Killmonger.
Right.
And I was like,
that's
damn.
Yeah.
And that was a great scene because he's like, yeah, you're not your brother. You're me.
Yeah.
I was like, shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, man. But yeah, Ultron was wasted. I also felt that as good as he is playing Baron von Zemo. Like he did a good Baron.
Oh yeah.
But he's not a lead villain like that. Not the way they played him out.
But he wasn't technically in that movie, he's not the lead villain.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Like to me, I look at the lead villain as Tony.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are some who say the lead villain is Cap. Like it depends on who you take in that Civil War.
Yeah.
In all honesty, because it's like, is Tony right for being angry about Cap choosing Bucky?
Right, the guy that killed his parents.
Yeah.
That he soon finds out.
Right. Yeah.
Thanks to Zemo.
Yeah. Like all Zemo was the master manipulator.
And he was good at it, right?
Yeah.
And I get it.
And I think he flourishes later on in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Agreed.
Because that was he was good as Zemo, but man, in this he really excelled as Zemo.
He did. He was very good at it.
Yeah.
He was a star in that.
And the points he makes about the super soldier serum and stuff, and Falcon's like, he's on a line. He ain't wrong.
Yeah, right. I was kind of disappointed though when they got there. I was disappointed that Zemo killed all the super. I understand.
Yeah.
But to have that battle.
Yeah, that was the battle you were looking forward to, and you kind of got, but you probably got a better battle.
No, I know, but I think you could have had both. I think you could have had that battle, and after the both of them wiped them off the floor, right?
Yeah.
If they could. Wipe these guys off the floor, and Zemo throws the trump card.
Yeah.
and being like,
But
oh, let me tell you about
I
this.
think he would have been emotionally exhausted by that point, though.
Maybe.
Like, because
Well, it wasn't Forrest Gump or anything.
no, no, but you have to read like
I understand his
it.
plan.
Right.
I
It's
get it.
right. But from a storytelling standpoint, Tony versus Steve and Bucky is
Oh,
the equivalent of Anakin versus Obi-Wan.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's the story. Like that's really the story. That's why I say like Tony's the real villain or Cap is the real villain, depending on whose side you take in that argument.
Right, right.
Not Zemo. And the emotional, like it hurts to watch that. As good as amazing as that fight is, it hurts to watch it because you're watching brothers fight.
Right.
That's what it really is, and that's what um Anakin and Obi-Wan was.
Right, right.
Like it was, you know, I loved you like a brother.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and Anakin's like, I hate you, and that was the same thing. Like, when he's like, that's not your shield, and Cap just drops it. It's like, oh shit. Like that was the equivalent of I hate you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad at the end.
Yeah.
That was rough. So wicked.
But it's emotional. So and you need to have the emotion ready for that battle.
Yeah.
Because of what it means at the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's. But then to have them several movies later repair the relationship when Tony gives him back the shield.
Right. And had it repaired.
Yeah. Like that you roll a tear there too, because it's like well, they're back together.
Yeah. They made up.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, I mean, because at the beginning of
and they did go down. They did travel back in time together too.
Right, but at the beginning of Endgame, like even then, like he's like, "Where were you?
Yeah.
I lost a kid. You didn't stop him. Why didn't you stop him?
Right.
You told me we'd do this together. Like his raw emotion after being rescued by Captain Marvel,
right.
And he's just looking at Cap like, "Fuck you." He's still that angry at him.
Yeah.
Especially now that they've lost.
Right.
Right. Like that was like I mean, it's that odd thing like people like glaze over like it's a comic book movie, but like the acting of like Robert Downey Jr. in some of those movies.
Yeah.
Like in all of them, but like particularly like Civil War and Endgame, and like there's some raw like really phenomenal acting that comes out of Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
And Chris Evans and like everybody, but like particularly our Robert Downey Jr. Like when he drops that line, "I am Iron Man," and he hits the snap. Oh fuck.
Yeah. Saddest part of the movie is when he's doing it.
It could have been sadder though. There was a deleted scene where he shows up in the same place Thanos did when he gave the snap.
Oh, really?
Like, and Thanos, like, and it's at the little Gamora,
and
she's asking him, what did it cost you? And he's like, everything. There's that moment. He has that same moment when he does the snap, and it's an adult version of his daughter.
Oh God, that's rough.
Yeah, like it would have been brutal. Like,
because he was blind at that point.
Yeah,
couldn't see anything.
No. And like, I mean, but that would have been like if he would have given us that moment where like, because the whole thing going all the way back to the beginning of the movie, like when he's like, doing the message with the helmet, and like, oh, that's like,
I think I cried from the time Tony died to the end of the movie.
Yeah,
it just kept coming. I mean, it kept coming. And then like Peter Parker showed up, and then Pepper, and then everybody at the funeral.
Yeah.
And then his kid I want a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And he was like happy. He's like, I'm going to give you all the cheeseburgers you can ever have or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. It just kept coming. And then you saw all the people in the background that Tony's been a part of,
Yeah.
like the kid and everybody's in
Yeah.
this movie, right?
Yeah.
And
Robin Hill and
yeah, everybody,
yeah.
everybody's there, right? And then all of a sudden you're hit with it again because you know what? Captain America's gone too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Then you get that whole thing with Captain at the end with him dancing with Peggy.
Peggy.
Like, oh, but oh.
You can't. And then at the end,
Yeah.
you get the script writing like in Star
Yeah.
Trek.
Oh yeah.
With the
Yeah.
few of them coming about
Yeah.
and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
You know. And that just fucking threw you down another hole.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of that movie, I was wiped out. I just wanted to sleep for 3 days. I was so emotionally distraught. Like I couldn't even. I didn't want to watch anything else.
Like that
I didn't want to
moment.
watch TV anymore.
That moment where Falcon's like, "So you want to tell me about her?" And Steve's like, "No, I don't think I will."
That's right.
You know.
Yeah, right. As he's rubbing his ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bucky's looking on approvingly in the background.
Yeah, because he knows.
He knows. Yeah.
He knows what that meant for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bucky knew as soon as he went in.
Yeah.
He knew it the whole time.
Yeah.
And Bucky just kind of, sat back and was Bucky.
Yeah.
It. Sullen. He knew what he was gonna do.
Yeah.
Because Falcon's screaming, "Where is he?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening? Why isn't he back?
Yeah.
And Bucky's like, I know what he's doing. I know the whole time.
Smart Hulk's like, I don't understand what's going on. He's not coming back, and
Grunt Bucky does.
yeah, Bucky knows.
Yeah, he knows. Shield should have went to Bucky. Anyway.
I agree, but I'm right there
Super
with.
soldier.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't believe that Falcon can throw that shield like that.
No.
And train it like that.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the strength.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe that. I think that's part of the problem I have. The unbelievable, as much as it's not, none of it's believable, but
Yeah.
it's just unbelievable to me.
No, I agree with you, and like it's that thing too of like, if you go back to Civil War, when Spider-Man's like, what did he tell you about me? And Spider-Man's like, well, he told me that shield bounced around in defy physics.
Right.
And at the end of it, he's like, yeah, Brooklyn, yeah, Queens, of course.
Right.
Right.
That was a cool moment too. There's been a lot of great moments in those franchises.
Yeah.
In those series. And we were talking about the acting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When he calls them underoos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey, underoos. And then shield, and it was also very impressive, like an Easter egg that probably nobody caught. That was how, and I've talked about it before, but how strong Spider-Man actually is.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's probably one of the strongest heroes in,
yeah.
not like Hulk,
Right.
but he's up there.
Right.
I mean, he can take on a whole tanker.
Yeah.
And just hold it up in the air.
Right.
While everybody's running or blowing it up or moving out of the way.
Right.
Vision, Scarlet Witch moving it with their mind, but Spidey's catching it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's strong as hell.
Yeah.
So, but I appreciated that. At least they showed his strength.
Yeah.
And they showed that Spider-Man can hang with these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if it's not the Iron Spider suit, which I didn't mind in the movie.
Yeah, because it was done well.
It was. It was done better than the comic.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah.
Especially on kill mode.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. But I don't know. I think what we just need is some good villains, and I think Robert Downey Jr. will fill the bill as Doom.
Yeah.
But I hope it doesn't backfire on them.
Well, it's that funny
I
thing.
don't know if people are ready to see Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. Because Doctor Doom is absolutely evil. I mean, it's Dr. Doom.
No, I agree.
The search for the power.
Yeah.
The everlasting power. The ruling over, you know what I mean?
Right. But do you, like, I think what could be interesting is, like, you go back to Ultron.
Yeah.
And, like, the entire time, like, Tony's like, I want to put a suit of iron around the world.
Yeah.
Like, that was the goal. That's why he developed Ultron. That's what he was, like, that was what, like, so, like, is his Doom the guy who tried and failed?
Oh, you mean the different version of Doom?
Yeah.
Aside the Doom that's going to space and stuff like that.
Right. Like so you bring in like this multiversal version of Doom. Obviously, it's Tony Stark, but you're playing it, and he is saying, I went from being Iron Man to Doctor Doom because I had to do it to protect the world.
Which would make sense behind the Iron Mask.
Yeah.
And that could be a linchpin.
Yeah.
I mean, Doom's Iron Mask.
Yeah.
Is just a version of the suit.
Yeah.
Could be.
I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting take on it.
Yeah. So.
All right.
All right. I think it was a good place to wrap things up.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So remember, there are a number of different ways you can reach out and touch us. You can send us an email, like Thad does each and every week. Sometimes we read it. Most of the times we don't. It's just filled with filth that you can't read. And that email address is pittsburghnerd@yahoo.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Pittsburgh Nerd. We're very, very easy to find. And we are on a number of podcasting networks. You can find us on the Tangent Bound Network, the Weeby Geeks Network, and the Pod Breed Network. Just give them a Google search and you can find all the other great podcasts they have to offer. And lastly, as always, want to thank you, dear listener, for taking the time to check us out each and every week. We can't thank you enough for your support. So on that note, the dreamer has awakened.
Peace.